Welcome to the sixth interview of the series Music Connects People for Music Without Quarantine. And on this occasion, the artist to be interviewed is no more, no less than the incredible, amazing Anna Fedorova. Hello, Anna.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something which will come a bit of a surprise for you, I think. And the thing is that, with this thing with the quarantine and the confinement, it of course it depends on the country you are. But here in Spain, we have a long confinement as well, and everybody was cleaning up and tidying up things. The thing is that 3 days ago, I started cleaning up and tidying up my books and my score books, and I found a score book that I was given by one of the teachers of the music school you started learning piano. Lyudmila Chichuk, she was a friend of mine, and she gave me this as a present while I was in Kiev. And I opened the book and I found this. Have a look.
Chamber Music Session 2012. Ah, yes, that's the concert.
So you remember, this is the very day we met in person, because you played, and it was a coincidence, but because we first met via Facebook, but then I went to Kiev and I had the chance to go to this chamber music session, and that's the very day I met you personally, the 7th of September 2012. Not bad. So 8 years. So since then, a lot of things have happened in your life. I believe behind every great artist, there is someone else who is also a great person, who was behind you to push you and bring you to a stage where you become a professional musician.
Well, I think from my very early childhood, and I guess still now, this person is my father, as well as my mother. But my father was my official and main teacher for many, many years when I was still studying at the school in Kiev, which you visited. And of course, even after I finished studying with him officially, he still was very much involved in all of my professional development. And he was very often coming to the Netherlands and also to other places when I'm having important concerts, because he just wants to support and also to be there personally. And like every time I'm playing in Concertgebouw in Amsterdam at the Sunday morning concerts, which are broadcasted live, and they're always like a highlight of a season and in the way of how important the concert is, and also with the amount of pressure, because then I know that it's already live broadcasted and that many people will watch it. Also, second Rachmaninoff, for some reason, it became really, really popular. So my father is always there. He always comes, and he, in general, basically started my education as musician. He educated me as musician. He opened this doors to professional stage for me as well. And with him I was preparing to many competitions I was participating when I was studying. So I guess I should say that he is the one.
So what did you, apart from, of course, from the musical skills you learned from him, if you would have to say something that he really taught you in life, what would you say it is?
Well, he is an incredibly positive person, and very, very kind and very shining. He really loves to share with people everything he's got. And I guess this is also something what I am very happy to do, and I think what I'm trying to do my best of. And I guess this positiveness is also something I've got and probably learned from him, or maybe it's genetic. But yeah, somehow I always tend to find good things in every situation. Like even now in this situation that we're having, I'm somehow always looking to the bright side and trying to get the most out of what is possible
Mm-hmm.
to do during this time. And yes, and basically this kindness which he has, he's
Uh-huh.
really, really kind person. So I was always learning and trying to be the same way.
Right. And what about your mom? What did you learn from her?
Well, from her, in a way, also the same things, a lot of the same things. And she is incredibly dedicated also to her students as well as to me. And um, yeah, she is a very, very hard worker. She's got many students in Kiev, and she basically, until the quarantine time, because now of course the schools are closed, but still she's given lessons online. But
Mm-hmm.
at least now she's got some time to kind of reflect and to be at home. And now it's a little bit less of crazy work every day, but before she would never even have days off. She would work every day, also on Sundays. And
Hardworking person.
yes, and basically she's really dedicated to her students and to music as well. And for me, when I was growing up, she was always there for me, and she was very, very involved in my life. If my father was more in the professional way involved in my life very, very strongly, she was more in the personal way involved in my
Uh-huh.
life. So she well, I really like these moments when actually I could have lessons with both my parents at the same time, and they would
Right.
just listen to me together and kind of complement each other and add to each other's comments. But she was trying to be more of a mother than a
Uh-huh.
teacher, while my father was, I guess I cannot say more a teacher than a father, but he was much more strongly in this kind of professional way, trying to really challenge me and push me in a way. And so basically, mostly I was practicing with him when I was young.
So in your life, you've had a lot of teachers and professors, I guess, and maybe it's impossible to mention all of them. But if you have to to mention one or two or three of your professors and teachers and what you learned from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I was 18 in 2008, I went to study in Imola with Leonid Margarius. And in Imola, there is this wonderful academy, piano academy in country called Maestro. It's located in a beautiful fortress, which
Oh,
was designed by Leonardo da Vinci. It's called the Roccas Fortesca. Um, and so there I was studying. I didn't live there full time because the schedule there was made very flexible, so that students who already have concerts, that they are able to basically schedule the lessons when they want to schedule them, and then you just come to get your lessons, maybe twice a month, maybe once a month for several days, and then you have some intensive lesson session. And then you can go. And at that time I was still half based in Ukraine, half based in Imola, and in between already starting to travel and play concerts. And Leonid Margarius was studying actually with the same teacher as my father in the conservatory, in Moscow Conservatory, Gleb Axelrod. And that was really nice and great transition, because before that mainly I was always practicing with my father, but then I started studying with Leonid Margarius, and he was coming from the similar school, also Russian school. And I still was learning a lot from him, a lot about artistry, about control, about how really to never to play formal. Like I remember his favorite phrase was, oh, like sometimes sounds a little bit strange, a little bit formal. Like you can never play formal. It always has to be, you have to give everything all the time, the maximum of the expression, maximum of the content. So there I was studying with him for 5 years in Imola, and then in 2012 I also started studying in London, and there I did my master's and artist diploma at Royal College of Music. And there I was studying with Norma Fisher, and she also was a really, really fantastic teacher for me, and that was the first time that I was permanently studying with teacher who is coming from different school, from more European school, and it was really great to add also this aspect to my education and to my playing. And she was really, really creative. Every lesson we were basically talking a lot and searching a lot in the musical paths and interpretation ways. And she taught me a very great importance of the left hand, which of course I kind of knew about, but never was pushed enough to really get to the full core of it, and really to give the full importance to it every time when I'm practicing also and at the concerts, and that's really important and gives a lot of depth also to the performance and to the sound as well. So these were my official teachers, but of course also I was taking a lot of master classes, and some of my highlights, I guess, one was when I went to the Verbia Festival, and I was part of Verbia Academy in 2012 as well. And this was also when I met a lot of wonderful friends who are my friends now, and also chamber music partners. So this is, for example, when I met Benedict Klockner, and and from the very beginning we became very good friends and started also to play together a lot. And there I had really incredible lessons with Menachem Preisler, for example, which stayed forever in my heart and memory. And also there I got to know Stephen Easterlis for the first time, a fantastic cellist who actually was probably a great influence musically for me ever since the moment I met him for the first time. And I also had many lessons with him, but as a chamber music musician, when we played as a duo with Benedict as well and with other cellists. Another great, incredible musician who also had a lot of influence on me is Anders Schiff. With him I also had many lessons, and particularly on Beethoven and Schubert and Bach. And he is also really one of his kind. So I guess a lot of wonderful musicians who I'm really grateful for.
If you had to choose, what would you choose? Solo pianist or chamber music pianist?
That's a really hard one. I don't want to choose because I'm really enjoying very much both, and also as a soloist with the orchestra or a solo recital or chamber music, I'm really always was trying to kind of schedule my season in a way that I have equally 1/3 of each during the season, because I wouldn't want to give up one or another. It's and it's also very important, like for example, to be only solo pianist, it also takes away like not to have chamber music, because when you have chamber music you also grow a lot, you learn a lot from your colleagues, and without chamber music I would feel that I also cannot grow enough, and I cannot be fully the musician I would like to be.
Right.